Hey, Clone, EC Details back from another episode, and this one is special to me. This one is a video that I had waited to do. I think I had to wait until I got big enough. I'm not saying I'm super massive as a channel, but big enough where some of these content creators will take their time to do it, but also wanted to be big enough where we could help other channels. So shout out to Pan for this idea, but what I wanted to do, not the idea for the video, but the idea of him always allowing smaller channels to go on his channel to get notoriety, get people to know who they are. In this video, I wanted to really get to know some of my favorite content creators and how they started detailing, and then also help you all with one tip, like a simple tip that could help you start in your journey of detailing, help you start in your journey if you're going to start YouTube or just in detailing in general. So this video is dedicated to all the YouTuber content creators who paved the road for us. Stay tuned in this video as we walk you through what caused them to start detailing, but also one tip that might help your business. Let's go.
You know, guys, before Hawk Tua, there was Hawk Pro. Hawk Pro Detailing, that is. Hey everybody, it's Nick from Hawk Pro Detailing, where my goal is to make you a better detailer. Started with Hawk Pro Detailing, now repping DIY detail, obviously. Hey, I wanted to give you a sense of how I got into detailing in the car that inspired me to detail. I used to work in the news. I used to be a news anchor.
C4 News at 10 starts now.
And good evening, it's great to have you with us on this Sunday night. I'm Nick McGurk. Every day I would drive 45 minutes to work, and that's because we moved kind of far away to get into a bigger situation living-wise so I could, have space for the kids. Anyway, so I get this Subaru Legacy. It was new at the time, and I was trying to figure out how to detail it. Well, I went to YouTube, and that changed my life. And so I watched all these people teach me how to detail, and I was just hooked. I mean, I could not stop learning how to detail on my Subaru. It was so much fun. If you know, you know. So it first started with the fact that they had businesses. Well, what if I had a mobile detailing business? I actually asked someone who I did a story on. She had her car broken into, and she made some joke when we were filming the story. Don't look in that car. I'm too embarrassed. And I was like, I'll clean it for you. And she's like, really? And so on my off day, I went and cleaned her car. So a little double dipping there, but it did start my mobile detailing business. I loved it. And so I was watching and getting inspired by all these YouTubers who were teaching me how to detail, YouTube University, and it was inspiring me to want to start the business myself. Not only did that happen, but after I started the business, I really wanted to make videos about it because I had all this experience in broadcast journalism, making videos, being on camera. I was like, I think I could do this. And that changed my life because the YouTube channel, Hawk Pro Detailing, really let me just express myself, showcase my journey, and I started to learn a lot about carpet cleaning because I was just not satisfied with how all-purpose cleaners were giving me results on carpets and upholstery. Hey everybody, Nick from Hawk Pro Detailing. I see it all the time, people asking, do I need an extractor? So I went to the janitorial world and anyway, I kept my mind open. Now I attended carpet cleaning technician training, which, at the time everyone was like, what are you doing? And I went to Salt Lake for a 2-day training. I've always been hugely into in-person. And that is my detailing tip. It's not a specific tip on glass or paint or carpet or whatever. It's attend in-person events. I went to Rupes training.
Was it worth it? Well, I've got a lot of toys here to tell you about.
I went up to the rag company. I went to a training at JNG Auto Reconditioning in Salt Lake. I went to how to build, your carpet cleaning business in Chicago. A 5-day training. I paid for myself to go out there, fly out there, stay out there in Chicago so that I could attend basically this business training when I thought maybe I would pivot from cars to carpets. I can't tell you that everything was tangibly related to any success, but I can tell you that one training I had was bringing Ivan LaCroix into my shop at the time, Hawk Pro Detailing.
I'm going to go speed 5, and I'm going to put about 5 pounds of pressure.
And we established a connection there. We started making videos.
I'm Ivan. I'm Nick. This is DIY Detail.
And I don't care how many good friends you have on the internet, and I've got a lot of them in detailing who I've never met, but I've talked to a bunch, and they are friends. Something happens when you get in the same room as people. So in a world where we're more connected than ever, on our phones, on our watches, you know what I'm talking about. We're actually more anxious and awkward than ever because we don't have to get out there in the real world, right? I'm encouraging you, attend a training. I can't tell you the $500 or the $1,000 will affect you tomorrow or the next day. But magic, alchemy, things happen when you go in person. Get out of your comfort zone, get out of your head, and go attend yourself a training. I'm not saying spend your life savings, but there's more that can happen in person than I can explain to you. It's just magic. Lean into that, folks. Love you guys. Thanks for having me, Eddie, and happy detailing, everybody.
What's going on today, YouTube? Listen, today we're going to be discussing what got me into detailing and our process to getting good results on interior detailing. This has taken so many takes, it doesn't even make sense because your boy can't talk. I can't get a full sentence out without stuttering. My name's Adam with Drago's Detailing. Starting off, we're going to go all the way back to 2011. 2011, I got my first job. I was working at a dealership. They actually paid to send us to get our detailing certification. It was like a 2-day course, I believe. It was about an hour drive from where I was living in Texas. They sent us, I think it was in Canyon. I don't know. It was somewhere in the Panhandle. Anyways, so we did the 2-day, it was like a 2-day certificate training course. I think that the first day it was exterior, second day it was interior. They showed us a little bit about paint correction, wet sanding, compounding, polishing, stuff like that, the ins and outs, the basics of paint correction. Day 2, we learned interiors. We learned dilution ratios for like interior cleaners, how to dilute product, measuring, you know, what's safe to use, where, and we got some sample products to take home, stuff like that. It didn't take long. It was a little 2-day course, like I said, and ever since then, I think that's really what got me into detailing. I've always been kind of an organized person. Even since like the age of 10 to 12, I was cleaning my room, and I couldn't relax in my room unless my room was clean. So it was just like a therapeutic thing for me personally. That's enough of me talking. We're going to get into this interior detail. Cue the B-roll, and I'm going to commentate while I clean an interior. All right, guys, first thing we're going to do is get all personal belongings out of the way. We want a clean slate. That way we can inspect the fabrics and floorboards thoroughly. Gang, gang. We're going to start with our first round of vacuuming. This consists of dusting any cracks or crevices there might be in the dash, steering wheel, buttons, things of that nature. Moving right along, we're going to start vacuuming the floorboards. This is going to be a quick vacuum. We're going to hit the seats as well. We are going to do kind of a suck, blow, suck concept, if that makes any sense. What did he say? So we're going to suck it out the first time. It's not going to get everything. We're going to come back through with a tornador. It's going to blow out from under the seats and cracks really good. Then we're going to come back and suck it out a second time, and that should take care of the bulk of most of everything. The reason being for this process that I use, I'm more of a quality detailer and not a quantity detailer. I usually stick with 1 detail per day, and I tell each client the detail will take anywhere from 5 to 8 hours normally. Sometimes if it's rough, it'll take a little bit longer. All right, next step, you guessed it, we're going to get to blowing. We're going to get everything that the vacuum can't quite reach, everything in the corners. It's going to agitate all the carpet fibers, get it nice and supple. We're going to come through and vacuum one more time. Now that we're done blowing dust around in the vehicle, we're safe to do the door jambs. All this is a rinseless wash and a rag. These door jambs are a little dusty, but nothing bad. When it comes to cleaning plastics, vinyl, and leather, I try to stick with 4 main principles, and that's spray it, scrub it, steam it, wipe it.
But hey, Adam, you should have used steam on electronics. That's really bad.
I can assure you, after 350 interior details of doing it this same process, I have yet to have a single issue. With that being said, you also do have to have a little bit of common sense. You don't want to just sit there and steam a button for, longer than a couple of seconds. Steam not only helps break down makeup, body oils, and spilled drinks, it's also going to sanitize and disinfect the area. It's also cost-effective and environmentally friendly. Now that all surfaces have been thoroughly cleaned and disinfected, we are good to start dressing. So we're going to dress everything using a paint spray gun and our favorite interior dressing. Then we're going to come through and knock it down with a microfiber towel. I don't like a super glossy interior or super greasy. We are going for more of a matte/satin OEM finish. The dressing that I am using does have anti-static properties, so it is going to repel dust to a certain extent. It's also a great UV protectant, so you're going to get 3 to 5 weeks of protection. After we are done dressing, we're going to hit the windows, screens, and mirrors. just in case we might have left any overspray behind from the dressing, while leaving a streak-free finish. So these floor mats weren't too bad. They were just dusty, so instead of extracting them, we're going to blow them out real good. Then we're going to hit them with some fabric softener. That's going to allow us to manipulate the fibers just a little bit. We're going to brush the fibers all one way, and then we're going to put some tiger stripes in them. Bada bing, bada bang. Wow, it's magic. Finally, before we put the floor mats back in, we're going to hit it with one more round of vacuuming. That's going to pick up any debris we might attract in the vehicle while cleaning. Not only does the car look new now, it's going to smell new too. Alright guys, that's all I got for you today. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It helps support the channel, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Peace.
Hey there, Internet. Keeve here. And how did I get into car detailing? Well, Heidi, this beast of a car back here, she's the reason why. So 6-7 years ago, when my son turned 16 years old, I gave him my Ford Focus. Never really had a car for a long period of time that was worthy of really caring. And finally got to the point in my life where we had enough money. He turned 16, I gave him the car, and then I was on the search for my favorite car. I actually picked a Maserati Quattroporte. Just after that, it got T-boned and totaled 2 months in. So then I said, we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to buy a little bit cheaper of a car, and we're going to have an entire build for it. I did not know it was going to go crazy the way it did. Through the car shows, through everything, I met so many people in the community. G-Technic, Jordan over there, he was part of ATL Beamers, got to meet him. They started sponsoring the car, started really getting into detailing products and ceramic coatings with them. And then I just kept on spiraling out of control. I built the wash cart. I built all that other kind of stuff. And I kept doing the reviews and went away from car content to detailing content and just kept on going down that rabbit hole. So you see, it started with Heidi here, the pursuit of perfection on the finish and everything about the car. And then it moved on to Helen here. This is my wife's car. And the passion just kept on moving with the wraps, the coatings and everything. It's just something that it's like my therapy. Then that passion turned into the wash bay, where I continue that obsession through all the aspects of detailing. And that's pretty much it. And every hobby that I've ever done, I go all in. Right now it's car detailing and YouTube. It's been golf. It's been RC cars. It's been off-roading. All kinds of things that just have an addictive personality.
Hey everyone, Alex here, Bucky VW. I thought I would share with you my history on how I got into detailing. Now, when I got my first vehicle that I purchased with my own money, it was a little Volkswagen Golf, and it was absolutely not fast whatsoever. But if I didn't have speed, I did have clean. And I thought, hey, I can make this the cleanest vehicle out of all of my friends, and that's the route that I decided to go versus tuning, etc. Now, I always knew growing up that you'd apply products in the big box store, but they made the dash and the interior bits very, very shiny and very, very hot once the sun hit them. And I thought, hey, there's got to be a better way. This can't be right. So went online, discovered YouTube, discovered online merchants for detailing products, and here we are down the rabbit hole. So trying the good quality products from different companies throughout the years, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't, and you've gained invaluable knowledge from all of these YouTubers and companies providing content for free, quite honestly, which is the biggest takeaway. Now, you can take away my hot detailing tip, which is when you are cleaning mats, carpet, rubber, doesn't matter, use a folding table, okay? Don't be cleaning them on the ground. The ground is dirty. Don't be cleaning the mats on the ground. Get it up, be more ergonomic, be more efficient, clean them on that, and then once that table is dirty, you can wipe the table off, rinse it down, dry it, and you can keep cleaning the mats there. So take that hot tip and have an awesome day.
I've been detailing as a professional for over 5 years. When I say professional, licensed and insured, right? Licensed, insured, taking customers' cars for 5 years. During that time, before that, I used to detail my father in Florida. I actually used to live back in the day in a mobile home park in Florida called Colonial Drive in Orlando. And I used to go with his buffer, his turtle wax bucket, and his soap, and used to go to house to try to get money and detail that way. That spawned into a passion for me when I got a car that's on keyed, and no one in Idaho could really do the wet sanding, or when I say Idaho, I'm talking about Pocatello. Could really do that when I called around. It's not their forte, so I took it upon myself. I felt like there was a need. So we started detailing in my garage. I started at 386 square feet, and what drove me to do it was the joy of completing. For me, I've always been a fan of finishing stuff. So finish what you start, and watching the car go from dirty to clean. You know, it's to me, it's awesome. What also caused me to fall in love with it was when the customer came to your house and they looked you in the face and said, "Oh my gosh," or "Wow," or "That really pops," or I get a text message from one of my clients that says this is one of the best ceramic coatings they've had. I didn't make the ceramic coating; it's just the application and the easy use for them. That's what got me into detailing. That's what drove me. I do have one tip that I want to share with you all that I've been trying to learn as myself. So, interior detailing is one of those things that have been growing exponentially, especially summer going back to school. I want to show you a product that I've been using that could help you in your business. Remember, you use these following products: Lux Cockpit Conditioner, Lux Cockpit Cleaner, ADS Pilot. You can use Fresh from Ethos or Geon Interior Detailer. And I want to just share this with you. Not every single car you do, right? If you're going to detail, you're going to detail for money, requires you to bust out PNS Express, which is amazing, by the way, a brush, 30 towels. You have to know what's important, right? Time versus dollars at this moment in time. When you're thinking about detailing for money or you're thinking about extra costs, is do you really need that product? So I'm going to walk you through a product that I think everyone should get. It's an interior detailer. Remember, use any of the ones I named. You can see those in the links in the description below. And use that for the in-betweens, for the cars that don't really need the deep clean, right? It'll do a couple things for you. It'll make you have more income and also shorten your time. And if you have a shop with 2 or 3 people like me, Isabel and Wanda, we're always going back and forth with what you would use. It's easier to know if a car comes in and it doesn't require like full-on full sand or PNS or ADS, it doesn't require any of that. What we do is we go in and use an interior detailer to hit every single plastic, every single mirror, and all that. So we're going to do that together in the truck. I'll show you what I mean. We'll show you what product we're going to go over. Let's do that real quick. Cars like this, okay? I'll show you the inside of my truck. I get cars that don't really have a bunch of dirt. There's the mats need cleaning. And what I see a lot of people do, especially when they start off, is they'll go get PNS Express or Coach Kim Polestar, and they'll spend all that money trying to get this clean. So get yourself an interior detailer. I use ADS, I use PNS, I use ADS, I use Fresh from Ethos, and I've been using this one. And what this does, it'll cut your job in half. So you can spray it on, or you can spray it on a microfiber, and you can spray it on there, and you're literally going to just wipe it in. And what this does, it adds a bit of protection, but also gets it clean, right? So you leave it clean and protect. And another method you could do is do it like that, so you're not wasting product, and you just hit the plastics, and that will allow you to finish quickly without having to bust out brushes and things of that nature. Some of these products here can be used with the brush to get you more, but like I said, you'll get that nice look. You're like, Eddie, how does it work for dirt? Well, let's go here for a second. Okay, let me give you this section here. I think it's important that we understand what we're working with. Usually these are dirty, right? So you can take the same thing, you can spray it on. Take my towel, and you can see some dirt that it took off here, right? So you see that dirt? So it does play nice. It does get it clean. It does have some cleaning capabilities, and you'll still get the dirt off of your car. These interior detailers, these right here, can also be used for seats. They can also be used for everything else. So it does clean dirt, it does do it nice, and it does leave a nice finish. And that's my tip.
Hey everyone, hope everybody's doing pretty well. First off, I want to thank Eddie for including me in this collaboration effort here. Always willing to help out a fellow content creator. When he reached out to me, he asked me 2 good questions, and I had to really think about this, and it took me way back to bring up some memories. And the question was why I got into detailing. And it actually stems back from when I was a kid and spending weekends with my dad washing and waxing the cars. That's where it really started. And if you look at some of the pictures of me growing up, I always have some sort of Hot Wheel in my hand. And in the family, we're all, quote, car guys, because we like going to car shows, and some of us like having, like especially like myself, I like having my paint just looking at its absolute best. And when I took ownership of the Grand Prix, that's when things really took off for me in the detailing thing, because I did a lot of hand polishing, a lot of, waxing and paint sealants at the time. This is way back before ceramic coatings were even a thing. And then I joined various forums, and that's when my world was really opened up to various brands and just different products out there. And I was always chasing, the best paint sealant or the best wax. And I kind of just learned and self-taught myself. And again, that was in my early 20s, and it just took off from there, from machine polishing and ceramic coatings these days. So it all started with my dad. And then when I got my Grand Prix, when I took ownership of that one, that's when it really took off. So that's why I got into detailing. For me, to this day, it's more of a hobby because I'm an enthusiast, and I don't do it as a job. So for me, it's more of a hobby than anything. I do the occasion side job here and there, but just really stems back from those two moments in my life on why I got into detailing. Just the overall process that I enjoy. We all get that satisfaction that our car looks great and we relax spending time in the garage. So the other question that Eddie asked me is any tips that I may have for rinseless washing in the sun. Number one, it's really hard to rinseless wash in direct sun. Now, one of the benefits that I have living in Southern California is it's sunny most of the year here. I live close to the beach, so it's not super hot here. But the days that it is hot, when I have to, or when I want to go wash the car, I will wait till either early morning or in the afternoon, or when I have a area that has shade, because I want to stay cool during the entire process. Stay hydrated is of course is important, and I wear sunglasses, sunscreen, I wear a hat because I don't want to really get beat up by the sun. So it's really hard to wash out in direct sun. But if you're using your rinseless wash, just use your favorite one. No particular brand, but you're going to be working, you're going to shrink your work size here. You're going to be doing panel by panel, because if you work longer panels, certain rinseless washes don't play well in the sun. So kind of just be mindful of that. So, again, look for a shady spot, wear your proper PPE, and again, just shrink your work size and just have fun. That's the overall process from me and my advice to you in rinseless washing direct sun. So I hope this helps. Again, thank you, Eddie, and take care, everyone, and I will catch you on future videos. Take care, everyone.
All right, folks, so Eddie asked me to tell you my quick story of how I got into auto detailing and have made it this far as a YouTuber and that kind of deal. So getting into auto detailing, I always took care of my cars. I had a 96 Ford Taurus. I like to say it was paint peeling, wheeling, squealing, all that good stuff, but I like to keep it clean. Every year I'd buy like a brand new shop vac when it was Black Friday time. It was super cheap, and it burned up basically in that 12 months. So it's about time to get a new one every time anyway. So always keeping my car clean, that kind of deal. And then eventually I moved into my house that I have now with a garage. First time I ever had a garage. And with that space, I was like, well, I know what I'm doing with this, making a detail studio. So I started kind of building out my studio to where you saw early days on my channel. Wasn't much to it, like a Harbor Freight workbench, a Ryobi pressure washer, a couple buckets. We're off to the races. So I started doing people's cars on the weekends, that kind of deal. While working my day job, I was a welder. I always knew I was going to be more of a tradesman through the years. Wasn't that good of a student. So I knew I'd be working with my hands a lot through my adult life. So I became a welder. Was a welder for over a decade, a little tractor shop. Did some construction jobs along the way. And then finally I'd been doing the weekend kind of detail gig for quite a while. And I was like, I could probably turn this into a business, because once I started doing YouTube, I figured out I could kind of, make a commercial for myself, promote myself in that kind of way. Pretty good at Facebook at this point. So I got my LLC, got license and insurance and that kind of deal, and started doing it full time. Quit my job. Went full time into making videos on YouTube and detailing. And ceramic coatings becoming a more user friendly kind of deal definitely escalated that. Now that you can do ceramic coatings in a smaller space like a open garage these days, that definitely helped the cause. Now I can do one big job a week, and that would pretty much cover my low cost. Being a garage setup, it saves you that rent space from a shop or that payment on a shop, that kind of deal. So having a garage studio, being specialized in ceramic coatings and paint correction, that is what led me to starting my own detail business of Jamie the Cleaner LLC. And now we're here on YouTube with my friend Eddie Cologne and his channel, telling you how I got into it and how I did the dang thing. So that's kind of the expedited version of my story. I was always just a keep it clean type of guy. Kind of became a weekend guy and then moved on to starting my own business, LLC. And I've been having a lot of fun with it ever since. You know, we've done some cool stuff like make some limited edition clean maker with Team P&S. That's pretty cool. Ethos collab with the cleaner cast coating. And, you know, we did a little showdown versus the Keep It Real boys. It's been a fun time. So we're just going to keep on grinding it out, nose down, head forward, and off to bigger and better things, hopefully, down the road. And before I go, Eddie asked me to deliver you a tip. That tip is, if you're going to start working on people's cars, especially if you're getting a little bit more expensive cars, go ahead and get some insurance, you know what I'm saying? I know what you watch on YouTube, everything's perfect, seems like no one ever messes up, that kind of deal, but it's going to happen. Everyone's human, we ain't robots. Get insured, for sure. That's all I got for this one. Thanks for inviting me on, Eddie.
Hi, I'm Bruce from Bruce's Garage. Welcome to my garage. So, how did I get involved in detailing? Well, a couple of years ago, we bought this house and it has this fantastic garage and it was a blank slate. Now it had great cabinets, it had built-in heating, it had an epoxy floor, but everything else was blank slate. And I was trying to figure out, what do I do with all this space? Because it's awesome space. And I thought, you know, I like to detail my car. I like to take care of my cars. Hadn't done that in a while, hadn't had the facility to really do that well. So that got me started. And I thought, well, I'm going to buy some stuff to take care of my cars. And I bought a few things, and that led to a few more things, and led to a few more things that led to a whole lot of more things and more YouTube videos and more opportunity and more that I could see that I could do with all the space. Anyway, that's all she wrote, and here I am. And so a year and a half or so later, I love detailing. I find it to be relaxing, although I work really hard. I just find it's a way to escape daily life and solely focus on the task at hand. And I love seeing the transformation of things. So I like immediate gratification. So when you're detailing, it's awesome to be able to take something that's really dirty, scratched up, not shiny, and transform it into something that looks pretty good, and in some cases looks really good. And so I found I was like having a lot of fun with that. Well, that became then an obsession that then I needed more cars to detail, because you can only detail your own cars so often and so much. And that led me down the path of finding other cars to detail, and my wife became my pimp. My wife became my pimp.
Whoa.
And she started finding people that would let me detail their cars, and that kept me occupied every weekend. And again, here we are. So that's what got me into detailing and what I really just love about it, and love seeing that transformation. Now, what's my tip? My detailing tip. This is something that's fairly new for me, which is, you know, I've used rinseless wash before. But what I've never used was rinseless on the interior. And I just did this the other day, and I was amazed, because I've detailed the interior of my car many times. And I used rinseless wash, and I was like, oh boy, this car is pretty dirty. Like the towel came out kind of black. And I was like, wow, like this works really well. So my tip is, think about all the things you can do with a rinseless wash beyond just your exterior wash. You can use it on glass. You can use it on the interior of your car. You can use it on nav screens. You can use it on leather. You could use it on plastics. There's so many different things, and people use it in their home. They use it to clean their toolbox. There's a lot of things you can do with rinseless. So Use Rinseless wherever you have the opportunity. It's easy, it's inexpensive, and it works really well. It's not perfect. It's not the be-all to end-all for every kind of dirt and the most severe of dirt, but probably 80%, it's going to work really well. So give it a shot. And thanks for coming to Bruce's Garage. Have a great day.
What's up, everybody, and thank you so much to Eddie for having me be a part of this, man. I really appreciate it. Now, the question is, why did I start detailing? And the answer to that is really, it was out of necessity and desperation. As a kid growing up, I always loved cars. Once I finally got my license, I always took care of my car, but I didn't have the detailer side of it, right? It was just basic car wash maintenance and things like that. Now, growing up in Southern California, I grew up surfing my entire life, got to a point where I actually had a bunch of sponsors and was actually making a little bit of money from it. So I was making about $2,000 to $3,000 a month, mostly from my main sponsor. And that was through a base salary, and then also it's called photo incentive, where if you get pictures published, then you get paid depending on how well the logo shows. So I was down in Puerto Escondido, Mexico on a surf trip. I was down there for about a month. Came back and found out that my main sponsor was letting go of their whole men's program. They were getting rid of the whole team, so my income was slashed by 90%. So I remember being back home, looking on the internet, trying to figure out what I could do to try and make money, right? Because I was like, I don't want to work a normal job, really trying to figure out what I could do. So I did what I knew best, right? I decided I'm gonna go drive down to the beach, I'm gonna go surfing and think about this. And as I was driving down, I saw a mobile detailing truck go by me. And I had never seen one before. This is back in 2003, 2004, or at least I never noticed one before. But I saw that thing go by me and I was like, I wonder, I can do that. I love cars, I love cleaning my own car. Again, didn't have the detailing aspect of it, but knew that I liked working around cars. So about a week later, I enrolled in a class that was a week long based out in San Diego. The training was really good as far as the hands-on side of it. The business training was subpar, and then I did get sold a lot of chemicals that I probably didn't need. But overall, it gave me the confidence to, a week after that class, my business is up and running and I'm out there pounding pavement and getting customers. So really just a story of, like I said, necessity, right? I needed to have some sort of income. I knew I always wanted my own business. Detailing was a great way to get into that. Relatively low barrier of entry, and started up, and now we're about 20 years later, still operating my detail business, still enjoying it. I think there's nothing better than getting to a customer's house or working on my own vehicles, throwing in some AirPods, listening to a podcast or music, and just zoning out and getting to work. I love it. It's been 20 years and it's growing fantastic. So, and if any of you guys are interested, I think it's a great business to be in. Now, if you are looking at getting into the detailing business, my best piece of advice would be don't spend too much to get started. You can start off small, start getting out there, getting some customers, getting some work done, start making some money, and then obviously just reinvest in the business and grow it that way. I started off differently, right? I invested a lot of money up front, and it was a big hole to dig myself out of. Looking back, I did not need to do that. There wasn't a lot of YouTube videos and things like that back then. So again, going through that course did give me the confidence to get going. But nowadays, there's so much information out there for you guys to just be able to kind of dive into it and then get started doing your family's vehicles and things like that. Get yourself comfortable and then get to work. So, all right, Eddie, thanks so much for having me, man. Back to you guys.
Hi, it's Christy Torres, Details and Me, talking to you today about how I got into detailing. It all started with that year in 2020, COVID-19. It was a time where I was crawling out of my skin. It was a time where I was indoors, panicking with small children, not knowing what to do, not knowing what was going on or what was going to be of this crazy situation that was just life altering. And my kids were big into YouTube at that time. In fact, they still are. My kids were big into YouTube, and they asked me to watch YouTube videos with them. And you know, when they first were really into YouTube, I really thought it was dumb, for lack of a better word. Like, how can you just sit there and watch these crazy videos all day long? It was insane to me. But my kids enjoyed it so much, and I needed something. I needed something to take my mind off of things. And so one night I sat down and I put on YouTube, and in my feed were detailing videos. And I couldn't believe it. But I, after a while, noticed that I was still watching detailing videos. It had probably been hours that had passed, and I was just enthralled. I could not believe how calm I was. I couldn't believe that my anxiety had lifted. I couldn't believe that I was sitting there smiling, that I was sitting in peace, that I didn't feel like I couldn't sit down. I didn't feel like I was crawling out of my skin. It was a miracle. It was miraculous. It really was. It was God sent because I needed it. And the more and more I started watching these videos, the more and more I realized I was learning. And I'm a lifelong learner. If you know me, I'm a teacher. I love to learn. I love to teach, and I love to be taught. I'm a sponge, and I was just taking everything in. And I ended up finding an old notebook that was empty, about this thick, and filled it up with notes upon notes, how to wash cars, how to detail cars, how to detail tires, how to detail interiors, how to detail engine bays, what not to do, what to do, the top 5 products, the top 5 worst products, whatever it was. I was just watching and watching and watching, and I could not get enough until I thought to myself, you know what, I can do this, and I want to do this. This is going to be my new hobby at the time, And so I got on Walmart online, I got on Amazon, and I just started buying products that were being showcased thanks to Pan, his end of the year showcase where he just, gives you the rundown of the best products in his opinion. And of course, who doesn't trust Pan's opinion, right? I just got a hold of whatever I could, and I started detailing my own car, self-taught. Not to say I was an expert or guru at the time, but I really was understanding what I was doing based on YouTube College, right? Like we all visit. And I wanted to do other people's cars. Now, of course, it was COVID, so even my family was a little hesitant. But if they would let me in their driveway, right, I was there. Neighbors, if they would let me in their driveway or drive their car to mine and then go back inside, I was there. I was detailing cars, and I was forgetting about the troubles of the world around me. And it was just a beautiful thing. And so once COVID lifted, I couldn't not continue. It was instilled in me at that point. And I became your literal weekend warrior, your all-time enthusiast, call it what you will. I started gaining enough confidence to actually ask for money. I'm a single mom of 4, again, as most people know, and life is hard and times are tough and money is tight. And so, it's nice to be able to make a little profit, but I don't do it for that. And I don't do it enough for it to really even make that big of a difference, because I do teach full time. But when I have the opportunity, you best believe I'm in the garage and I'm working on a car. When I am out and about, what am I dreaming of? Getting back to my garage. It's kind of crazy and it's kind of odd, I guess, if you know me, but people have gotten used to it. And it is just who I am now. And I can't imagine ever stopping. I can't imagine not continuing to want to learn all there is to learn about this detailing world. It's just amazing. One tip, though, that I'm going to give you that really affected me, sometimes negatively, is you don't have to buy into all the hype of every brand new product. Now, again, I'm not a professional full-time detailer. I only do this when I can on the side. But if I have a couple tire brushes that work, I don't need the other 17 that are out on the market, right? I don't need all 17 tire brushes to do a good job. If I have a few good soaps, I don't need to buy another 27 of them because they're on the market and they look cool. Now, is it fun to buy products and to try products? Absolutely. But sometimes you can get yourself in a little bit of a financial rut when you just think that you always need the newest and latest and coolest of tools and accessories, chemicals, whatever it may be. So that is definitely something that I've had to work with myself on because I think I have a problem. I don't know about you, but Detailers Anonymous, where do I sign up, right? So that is my tip. Please just be wary, especially when you're just beginning and finances aren't where you need them to be. You're not making a big profit yet. You don't need a ton of things to detail a car well, because again, it's the detailer, it's not the tools.
Hey, what's up guys? I'm Pan, the organizer. So Eddie, thanks for having me on your channel. And when you were asking me why I chose detailing or why I like car detailing, I have to say that it's probably a two-part answer. So the first part is because, well, I just love seeing the smile on customers' faces when they come to collect their vehicle and they see the end result. I've always been a clean freak, so whether it was when I was younger as a teen, cleaning my room, and then eventually when I grew older, cleaning my house, of course, always having a clean car, a clean life in general. And just the process of doing everything, but mainly even when I first started like 27 years ago at this point, detailing vehicles for friends and family, just seeing that smile when they pick up the vehicle. I don't know for the rest of the detailers out there, but I can tell you it is amazing. So it's something that you did with your own hands, that you took your time to do well, to make people proud. And of course, well, you get to see the end results for yourself, first of all, but then the customer comes and looks at their vehicle and like, oh my God, this is either better than you or whatever it may be. You solved an issue that they had. It could be a scratch on the surface. It could be an interior that had some sort of a disaster that happened and you corrected. Whatever the reason is, it's just seeing that smile on people's faces. Because let's face it, right? Not everyone can detail their own cars. Sometimes people have busy lives. They don't have the time to do the stuff on their own. They don't have necessarily the skills or knowledge to detail their own car. They might not have the tools and equipment. Regardless of what the reason is, when a detailer takes care of a vehicle, regardless if it's your full-time job or something you do as a hobby or something you do as a sideline, there's always that satisfaction of a job well done. And yeah, seeing that person smile, it gets addictive. And still to this day, it's the thing I enjoy the most when I deliver a car, is seeing that initial customer reaction when I open the door and tell them to look at the car and they have this smile and they can't believe all the work that you've done. So it's very gratifying, right? And the second portion to that answer, I'd say, is, well, let's face it, it's soothing and relaxing. I'm sure many of you guys out there can relate to this. I like going into my garage, putting a few tunes or songs, regardless if you have some earphones or a sound system, whatever it is, put on some music and just enjoy the process. You focus on the task at hand and you forget about your daily woes or your daily issues or anything that's going on in your life, because again, you're just enjoying the moment. So for me, yeah, it is a soothing and relaxing kind of thing. And that's one thing I want to give to all people who watch my videos on my channel, is that passion for detailing, that detailing bug. It's incredible to have. So again, after 27 years of detailing, I truly enjoy this. Now, for a detailing tip that I can share with you guys, I've shared many through the years, right? It's been over 8 years at this point on my YouTube channel that I share a bunch of tips and tricks. I highly encourage you to go watch my channel if you've never discovered it yet. So one thing is going to be the windshield, right, on your vehicle. So how do you get that clean? A lot of people hate cleaning glass because they never get optimal results. Well, once you're done washing the exterior of your vehicle, note that on the inside, a lot of people try to use glass cleaners to clean the windshield, and still there's that oily, greasy kind of substance. Well, that's from the off-gassing. So all the interior materials, whether it's rubber, plastics, vinyl, leather, you name it, they emit these kind of chemical gases, and those fumes, they accumulate on the windshield, and over time you get kind of veil. And when you drive in inclement weather, especially when it's raining in the nighttime, you're going to notice this with the condensation that forms right there. Well, all that dirt and grime sticks. So how do you remedy that? Well, before you use a glass cleaner, you have to degrease the surface. I have a full tutorial on my channel if you search for interior windshield cleaning pan, the organizer, in the YouTube search bar. But essentially, you're going to use a microfiber towel or a glass cleaning tool with a microfiber head, and you're going to use some dishwashing liquid. So I like Dawn dishwashing soap diluted into a bit of warm water. So you just need 1 or 2 squirts, not much is needed. And you get that soapy solution, and you're going to clean the glass that way. So you're going to degrease the surface. Then you're going to squeegee that entire thing off. Make sure you put some microfiber towels on your dash so you're not getting any of that liquid on the parts themselves. And so you squeegee it off, and then you're going to use your glass cleaner. Make sure it's an automotive glass cleaner so it's safe on tinted film, because there's no ammonia in automotive glass cleaners. And then you use a glass towel along with the glass cleaner. You do that final wipe, because a glass cleaner is what we call finishers. So they're not made to fully clean the glass. They're made more for those final steps. Once the glass is fully degreased, properly cleaned, and then you finish off with a glass cleaner and you should have crystal clear glass. So I hope you enjoyed this. And by the way, Eddie, thanks for having me on your channel again. And I wish you all the success in the world. And yeah, just continue to work hard and you're going to reach some crazy heights on YouTube. Thanks, everyone.